Good morning, S2. This week you are focusing on foreign exchange. So the idea is that you're developing your knowledge and understanding of foreign currency and exchange rates, and some of you will be pushing on to then learn about how they work in context and sort of in real life scenarios. Again, we're split into two different levels, so it's lesson 5. Okay, I know it's week 6, but remember we did a little bit of an investigation. We've got 2.5 and 3.5 here. So I'm just going to talk you through them quickly. So 2.5, okay, we've talked about what your learning intention is about foreign currency. The idea is that you can recall other currencies that you have used on holiday or some that you know of. You can use a given exchange rate to calculate how much pounds is worth in another currency, and then you can research and discover currency and exchange rates of other countries. Okay, so as per usual, do the work on paper and insert a OneNote in at the right hand side over here, or you can write straight on the OneNote. So your first task is, what currencies do you know? So I've given 2 examples. So the UK uses pounds and the USA uses dollars, right? Think about where you've been on holiday and you've had to use a foreign currency. Maybe you just know some currencies of other countries. Anyway, I just want you to write down as many as you can and many as you can think of. Alright. Then task 2 is calculate in euros. So this is when we're going to start using an exchange rate to calculate how much our money is worth in euros. So a little bit about it, okay. Countries didn't actually use the euro before. That was a currency change in 2002. Alright, each country in Europe had its own currency and they decided that they wanted to use a collective one. The UK decided that they'd like to keep theirs, and they decided, along with some other countries in Europe, not to use the euro, but quite a lot of them decided that they would use it. The idea is then you just go in and answer these questions, and then a little challenge is, these are old currencies. These are countries of currencies of countries that used to use the euro. Used to use these currencies but now use euro. So you need to go and figure out who used to use an escudo, a mark, lira, gulden, peseta, drachma, or the marca. You can go do a little bit of research. Task 3 is still calculating currencies, okay? I've put a little example in here of how to do it. I'm going to go through a couple of examples in a second as well. But this time we're looking at other countries, so not just the exchange rate of the euro, but we've got this table down here on the right hand side in yellow, where we've got given exchange rates for lots of different currency. What really important is you read that table, and when you do the calculation, you pick the correct exchange rate. Level 3, very similar, but just pushing you on a little bit. So task 1, what is an exchange rate? Go away, Google, research the answer, speak to whoever's at home for help. That's fine, but I just want you to write a couple of sentences explaining what an exchange rate is. Then, calculating foreign exchange. So not only just changing your money into another currency, so changing pounds into another currency, but we're also going to be looking at changing our money back the way. Okay, I want you to read this bit here because it's got a couple of examples, and then pushing into some real life sort of explanations and price comparisons. So what we need to be able to do is change our money into the same denomination, meaning that both of them have to be in pounds or both of them have to be in euros or whatever currency it is, to be able to make a direct comparison. Okay, then I've put an extension task in. Now this is level 4 plus work. That means, right, it's really at the top end and almost looking into sort of national 5 level numeracy questions. They're quite hard, they're supposed to be hard, but if you want to go on and try to do them, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, so there's 4 questions there that you can have a look at. Alright, so calculating foreign exchange. Now, it's actually very easy and you get to use a calculator for this. So, really important is the exchange rates. We need to know what the conversion rates are and how much a pound is worth. That's what an exchange rate is. So £1 is worth 1.07 euros and £1 is worth £1 $32. Exchange rates change all the time. Depending on how the economy is doing. You'll actually find that if you research them just now, they're very low. they change depending on the circumstances. And with our current pandemic, that has had a big impact on a lot of things. However, our process doesn't change to what we're doing. If I want to change £400 into euros, then what I need to do is I do £400 and I multiply it by the exchange rate that I need. So it's euros, which means this number here is what I'm going to multiply it by. 400 multiplied by 1.07 equals, and I'm changing it into euros, so I'm going to put my euro symbols in, and then all you need to do is put it into your calculator. Once you do that, you'll get a nice answer of 428 euros. Okay, so this process really doesn't change. If we're changing pounds into another currency, we're always just multiplying by the exchange rate, the one that we're wanting to change. Okay, so our next example is change £350 into dollars. Well, it's £350. I'm changing it to dollars, so it's a multiply, which means I need this exchange rate here. So I'm multiplying by 1.32. Again, we just put this into our calculators. 462 dollars. Okay. Nice and simple, nothing too painful. When we want to change it back, okay, so it's an inverse process. So rather than going from pounds into dollars, this time we're going from dollars into pounds, which means rather than multiply, all we're going to do is divide by the exchange rate. So $500 divided by what my dollar exchange rate was, which was 1.32. We know that from the last question. Okay, and again, we put that into our calculator. These ones you tend to get answers that are a little bit more scrappy. So this comes out to be £378.7878 and so on. Okay, it's money. It should have 2 decimal places. Alright, I'm looking at that 7, so that means for this I'm going to get £378.79. Alright, remember, rounding's important. You have to think about that. Same thing, again, just picking the correct exchange rate. When we're going back from euros into pounds, it's a divide. So changing 120 euros into pounds means I'm going to do 120 divided by, now my exchange rate for euros was 1.07 equals. Again, when you put that into your calculator, it's probably going to come up a bit of a scrappy answer, meaning it's not as nice, and we've got a string of decimals, like so. Again, it's money. I want 2 decimal places, unless the question asks for something different. If I'm rounding this to 2 decimal places, then I get £112.15. However, it could ask for it to the nearest pound. So to the nearest pound, it's £112. Okay. Could ask for it to the nearest 10. Okay. Well, that's, if it's to the nearest 10, then that's going to be £110. Read the question, make a decision. Okay. If it doesn't ask, or it doesn't tell you what to round to, then always round it to 2 decimal places, pounds and pence. Okay, that's all you've got to do this. That's not all what you've got to do this week. That's the explanation on how to do your work in your OneNote this week. You will be given another assignment on Wednesday, which will need to be completed for Sunday, and you'll also be given a short task to do on SumDog. Okay, it won't be as big a challenge as last week, but there still will be a challenge there for you as well. All right.